Okay, how fast should you be running your intervals? Now, you've started to put some structure into place in the week and over a training schedule. You've got a goal in mind. We should always work back from the goal. We're seeing what that mid-week interval session is doing for our running. It's improving our running. We're seeing what the long run is improving our endurance and stamina and how those feed back into each other nicely in order to make a more rounded, better runner. Now, whether your goal is 5K, 10K, half marathon, marathon, ultra marathon, it's about building speed, building endurance, and how they come together. Simple as that. So I want to give you a really good example, the best possible example, so that you can look at this, believe me, because the data is there to see, and look at how this applies to your own training so you can get the maximum possible reward from your faster training and your longer training in order to get towards your optimal result, your potential. It's really important, this, because if you're going out there and you're inserting speed for the first time, the tendency is to quickly do as much as you possibly can and to get as fast as you can. You're not trying to become a good 400-meter runner. You're trying to become a good 5K runner or a good marathon runner or half marathon runner, whatever your goal is. So there's no better example I can give you than this. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, who is a 1500-meter specialist to a 5K specialist and got world records, lots of European records, European championship medals, world championship, world champion. Couldn't be a better example. And this was a recent session that he posted because FloTrack gone and visited him, done a session. And this is at altitude. So it's at 2,100 meters, 6,900 feet, but 12 times 400 meters. Quite a simple session, straightforward, 10 times 200 meter afterwards, which will be focused on leg speed and him, kicking fast in the last 200 meters to 300 meters of a race and looking at that speed. It's only 10 times 200 meters, so only 2,000 meters of hard work, but we're gonna focus on those 12 times 400 meters. The 12 times 400 meters, you might look at this and think, whoa, that's super fast. And it is quick, but it's not rapid. Now, the first one is a bit of an outlier, 64 seconds, but the average is 62 seconds, there or thereabouts. Why is that interesting? And we also need to look there, that 60 seconds rest in between, which I told you is gold. If you can teach your heart rate to go from high during a high intensity interval to low really quickly, basically, this is how I'm working. I'm training you to go hard, and you're going to be doing exactly the same work in 60 seconds time, so you better get recovered heart. That's the way to train yourself really, really well. Now, why is it interesting? 62 seconds a lap. It's quick, but it's not so quick for a 5,000 meter runner, or is it? So his personal bests are, and they're all recent, they're all 2023, 2024, mile, 4 laps to the track in 3 minutes, 43 seconds, which is 55 seconds a lap. 2,000 meters, which is 5 laps to the track in 4 minutes, 43, which is 56 seconds per lap. 3,000 meters, 7 minutes 23, 7.5 laps of the track, 59 seconds. 5,000 meters, 12:48. These are all rapid times, which is 12.5 laps of the track, which is 61 seconds, or 61.44 seconds per lap. That's his personal best. He's also done the 10K, but that was on the road, and it was with a friend of mine's race in Oslo, and he's done that just under 28 minutes. But the average for 400 meters, even during that 10K, on the road was 66.96 seconds per 400 meters. Now, why is this interesting? It's interesting because this is a world champion. This is a specialist between 1,500 meters and 5,000 meters. Somebody who's done 800 meters and 1,500 meters for a long time before he moved up. He is one of the best, if not the best, in the world from 1,500 meters to 5,000 meters. He's a quick middle distance runner. So why is this applicable to us, and why is it interesting for us? If we look at that simple session, 12 times 400 meters with 60 seconds rest in between, he was running those 400 meter reps each at the pace that he can run for 5,000 meters. In fact, a little bit slower than the pace that he is capable of running for 5K. That's about control. It's about being within himself for those 12 times 400 meters with 60 seconds rest in between so that he can do them regularly. And we're trying to do it every week. On the Wednesday interval session, that's when we work on our speed and speed endurance. That's consistency, that's discipline, and that's come from an early age of his dad being, having already 2 great athletes in the family, and now creating this wonder athlete who is head and shoulders, it's fair to say, above the other 2. It's incredible, but it's to do with discipline. And yet, like everybody, he is injured very, very rarely, but from time to time, yeah? or back out of a race because it's not quite right. He's very, very well in tune with his dad, who is his coach, very well in tune with his body. He knows exactly what to do in order to get ready for a 5,000 meter race and win it, and he is a winner, or 1,500 meter race. So what we're seeing from that session, 12 times 400 meters, 10 times 200 meters, is control. He's running it slower than his 5K pace. So when we look at 12 times 400 meters, and we say, okay, how fast should I be running? Sometimes we want to say, oh, I'm doing a marathon there, therefore it should be 20 times 400 meters, and we're doing 8,000 meters of hard work. And I want to be running those at approximately, and you're trying to sort of guess the time based on what? So you need to think about where you've come from. And if you're racing regularly and you're getting ready for a marathon, it's going to help you to run the faster distances as well, or the sort of shorter distances which you can run faster, like the 5K and 10K. If you're in 10K PB shape, you're there or there. If you've done the endurance work, if you're in 10K PB shape, you're also in marathon PB shape. Remember that. It's really, really important. It's something that people forget. But to be there, if you're training for the 5K, or if you're training for 5K at the moment, and you're going out there and you're doing a session, maybe it only has to be 12 times 400 meters. If that's good enough for the world champion, it can be good enough for us. 12 times 400 meters at 5K pace. How easy will that feel for him? That will feel, those 62-second laps will feel ridiculously easy for him. And I don't want to get into the physiological part. It's important for him, and it's all about lactate threshold, but it'll be between 2.5 and 3.5 millimoles, which means he can handle it, but he's still pushing up those lines, still working to that lines. So when he comes to race 5,000 meters, it feels like he's got the handbrake on for the final, until the final 300 to 600 meters, where he really needs to win the race. He's all about longevity, which means winning the race. He's a clever guy with a clever team. So what can we learn from that? We've got to be in control of our sessions. Probably, even with pace, even with speed training, even with that midweek interval session, we've got to be in control, and we've got to be pushing. We've got to watch the heart rate raise, but not too much. So we're in control of not just the rep, but the entire session. Really, really, really important. You can apply all of that to whatever you're training for right now, and especially if it's 5K park run that you're trying to get better at, because good 5K runner, more easy to cross over to the 10K, easier to cross over to half marathon, then you can go to marathon. Once you've built that speed, and that speed is going to help you through all the distances and to become a better distance runner. So important. If you're getting anything from these videos, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.